Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to all of y'all. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live, episode number, I think it's 268, something like, but who's counting? Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Let me start off with a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love reality TV, but I especially love you guys coming out here and hanging with me every Monday night as well. Uh, kind of open format. We'll talk about some reality TV and whatever else I got in mind tonight, but welcome aboard. Happy to have you joining me. Welcome as well to those who are watching on replay. I know not everyone can catch up this evening, but as Angie Hung pointed out to me, it's not just, first of all, happy President's Day for those of y'all here in the States. But as Angie pointed out, it's not just a holiday here in the United States. Up in Canada, it's Family Day. That's kind of cool holiday, right? Family Day. So got some people off work up there as well. So welcome to all of y'all. I hope those of you who had time off, I hope you enjoyed your day. Those of you who are working, I still hope you enjoyed your day. All right, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on the old notifications, and you can hit the thumbs up while you're at there. Yeah, you know I like the thumbs up. I do this every Monday night. For those of you who may not be aware, every Monday evening, but I'm also dropping episodes of the Traitors recap review. I think we've got couple episodes left and we'll be done with that. And then it's going to be Survivor 50 and then Big Brother season before you know it. It's coming up on us. It's so fast. It's like 80 degrees outside. Forget wintertime. We're past that, at least down here, which gets me now thinking about the reality TV season coming up. All right. Isn't it funny? So much of this stuff is late spring and summer. Used to be when no one watched TV, so they put these shows on. And now these shows are doing okay. All right, let me see who's out here real quick. And I'm not going to read a lot of comments. I'm just going to check and then we'll talk about it in a second. Brad Hosteller. Hey, Brad, how are you doing, sir? Patricia Miller as well. Maryland, 22. We still have y'all's login names versus the IDs, but whatever. Big Jake 88 is out here. Cindy's out here as well. Hey, Cindy. Michelle Moore. Let's see. How y'all? I love when I come out here and see y'all just talking away. Carol Mosier's out here also. How, Carol? Angie's out here. Angie, I'm glad you're able to make it tonight. Sorry you're missing gymnastics, but glad you're able to make it here. Kennedy Frank as well. Frank and Kennedy, I'm glad you're out here also. Karen Hummer. And let's see. Go through these a little faster. Mandalo as well. Heather Luck out here. Blue Sugi out here. Wyatt Garrett out here. Oh, I love seeing all y'all's names, guys. Clinton Merchant as well. Clinton, howdy, sir. And let's see. I think we'll call it about that. Am I missing one? 43 Huckster. Didn't want to forget you, 43 Huckster. And I think that's about it. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Put something down. I'll try to get Sharon to grab hold of it, and we'll start talking about that as well. But with that being said, happy President's Day. And we'll find out what's going on in your world. We had Valentine's Day. We had all kinds of stuff taking place. All right, let's see what we've got on here. Michelle Moore saying, is Cliff Ross on Friends? And Angie saying Cliff must have dated Rachel. We were on a break. We were on a break. For those of you who don't know, 32 years ago, God, it seems like so. 32 years ago today, Friends premiered on NBC. 1994. It is hard to believe because it doesn't seem that long. And even before that, we had Cheers and some of these other shows that the Seinfeld and all that. But yeah, Friends premiered in 1994. I watched it all live. I watched it when it first came on. I enjoyed it. I always enjoyed Friends. I thought it was pretty good. Now, I got a question for all of y'all. I feel like I know a lot of y'all already just because, heck, some of y'all, we've been talking for years out here. But if you were part of the Friends crew, who would you be? When I was looking at my little teaser, for those of you who don't know, I put my face over Ross's because I most definitely at that age would have been Ross Geller. That I fit him to a T, to a large degree. A little bit on the nerdy side, a little bit on the naive side, a little bit. Always well intentioned. That was me. Ross and I now. He studied dinosaurs for science. I studied dinosaurs so I could go drill wells and suck them up and turn it into profit. So, but we did all of that. We had that. Now Sharon's saying she thinks I'm a little bit of a mix with Joey. How you doing? Maybe. I think that came along later in my life. Now here's the thing. When I got out of college, yeah, I didn't go move into some fancy New York apartment and hang out with the Friends cast. No, I was out in West Texas. I was hanging out with the folks that you see on Landman. We were typically just loaded up with grease on our foreheads and blisters on our hands, and too tired to go out and do the fun stuff. So a little bit different lifestyle than they had on Friends. Although there was one night, a big party. My boss, who was just a little bit older than I was having a big party. Said, "Hey, Cliff, you got to come to this party. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna have all these people here." I said, "Okay, well, that's great. Well, where's it gonna be? Oh, it's gonna be at 8 o'clock at, I think, Harrigan's, which is one of the kind of bar clubs there in town." I go to this place. My boss isn't there. Neither is anyone else that I know, but I'm there a little bit early, so no big deal. So I just walk in. I start talking to the people. They're dressed very nicely, and they're very. They kind of looked at me funny, but I'm just sitting there shooting the bull with people and laughing and having fun. And I said, "Oh yeah, I'll have a drink. That'd be great." And just moving around the room, acting like I'm just, everything's perfect in the world. I do that for about 45 minutes or so before I find out that, oh no, I'm at the wrong location. This isn't my boss's party that I'm supposed to be at. This is the Junior League of Midland, Odessa, which I don't know if Junior League is everywhere. It's just here in Texas. It's like the highfalutin, prim and proper bloods of society. These were all the people who were like the kids of the billionaire oil men and things like that. And yeah, I didn't belong in there at all. But it taught me at an early age, you can get away with a lot of stuff if you just act like you belong there. Now, I didn't know that at the time, but I learned. So I very quickly said my goodbyes, made a few friends out of it, came over to the other club, very much different. So there you go. My one time to kind of hobnob with folks of that sort. But yeah, I always enjoyed friends. I don't know how I got off of that type. I always enjoyed friends, but yeah, I was very much the Ross Geller type, regardless of what Sharon may think. So there you go. 36 years ago. Seems so long ago. I was talking to a guy today and I said, "Hey, this new product's going to be available in probably February of March of 2027." 2027. As a kid, thinking 2000, that seems so far. That was like Jetson's age. 2027, that was 2020 was the next big one. That was going to be when we were on Mars and everywhere else. 2027, that was inconceivable. That was beyond futuristic. And here we just about are. It's incredible. Life just marches on. Time marches on. All right, Cindy is saying, Janelle from Big Brother was at my daughter's work in Las Vegas on Saturday. Now that is incredibly cool. I assume, sure, I know she recognized her, right? That's all right. That's kind of cool. I have not met Janelle before. I'd like to. That'd be fun. Now, she and my Nicole, had a little beef on Big Brother 22. Do you remember? Nicole wasn't real trusting of Janelle. They had some words and didn't get along. I hope they work that all out. I've never pushed Nicole a lot on that to see what their current status is, but yeah, I'd love to meet Janelle and just say howdy. And hey, if I was playing, I would have aligned with you immediately, Janelle. If I was on it, I didn't realize that she and I mean, maybe she doesn't know. Cindy, does she still live in Las Vegas? I thought she was in Florida or somewhere else, but if she is, kind of interesting, kind of a little segue. I'm actually getting to go to Las Vegas here in a few weeks for a little business. Yeah, it's always business. Going there to do some training and talk to some clients and things like that. So not a lot of time to hang around and do the crazy stuff, but I'm gonna go to Las Vegas. So yeah, maybe I'll just go. Maybe I'll just stand on the streets, one of the sidewalks, a big sign, say, "Hey, if Janelle's in town, come find me," or something. That'd be kind of desperate, wouldn't it? But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for. Sharon and I have not been to Las Vegas since before my daughter was born. We used to go all the time, and then life gets in the way. So yeah, that'll be kind of fun. Looking forward to the trip. But yeah, well, that's pretty cool, Cindy, that she met Janelle. I've heard, and I would imagine she's a very, very nice person. Um, I'd love to find it out on my own one of these days. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Carol Mosier is saying, saw Lisa's Instagram today, and I guess she and Colton had a fight at the reunion. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, that reunion is gonna be a lot of fun. Now, I thought I heard something that Colton chose not to go to the reunion, but maybe he did. Maybe he got talked into it. Maybe he got encouraged, encouraged to go to the reunion. I would think that would be kind of an expectation as part of your contract. I wish we had a reunion as part of Big Brother. Yeah, we didn't have enough time to hash through everything. It was all during my season. It's all about vote for the winner. And then we had some of our scandals and stuff that we talked about, people hooking up in the jury house and all that kind of stuff. I wish we'd had just an extra hour just to talk about what went on and people thinking this and why did you do this and were you serious about it? It could have been fun to hash it out right then and there while everyone's still very fresh from the experience. I think afterwards we could do it now, for example, but it wouldn't be the same. I talked to Christy and Tommy and Nicole and Ovi and Nick. I talked to a lot of people for my season, and we're all cool with each other. I don't, maybe that's not 100% the case for everyone, but for the most part, we're all have recognized that as an experience at this point. We're far enough away that it doesn't feel as fresh, which is better from a emotional standpoint, but from a drama and fireworks and good for TV, not quite as good. I wish Big Brother would do a reunion, but yeah, I am definitely looking forward to the Traitors reunion. Yeah, Lisa and Colton had it out for each other, but it was just a game at the end, right? If I was either one of them, I wouldn't hold it against the other one. But some people take it a lot more personally than others do. All right, let's see. Angie saying, do you agree with Alan Cummings that Rob R is the best trader ever? Seems like a PR stunt. Oh, you want to hype up the season as best you can, right? But having said that, I don't really have any gripes about the way Rob has been playing this game so far. We saw Lisa, we saw Candace, both kind of, it caused some issues that caused them to get discovered. Blue Sugi saying, Rob for the win on Traitors. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing it maybe coming down to Rob. Oh, and Karen Hummer saying, who is your Traitors winner prediction? Okay. I'm kind of seeing it coming down to a battle at the end between Rob and Kristen. And maybe you've got some peripheral players in there, but I just feel like Kristen is just good at sniffing out some of this stuff and figuring out what's going on. I have been more and more impressed. I'll be honest. I used to watch Top Chef and the Food Network Star. We watch a lot of the cooking shows, but I hadn't seen Top Chef in a while. So I didn't know much about Kristen, but I tell you what, she's been paying attention and she's had some pretty good, not always correct, but she's had some good insights. And she caught on that Eric maybe is acting a little bit different from earlier in the season. So yeah, I could see her, if they don't murder her quickly, I could see her making it to the end. And I kind of don't see them, I guess I should say spoiler if you haven't seen the last episode, but I kind of spoiler. I kind of don't see them murdering Kristen right now because she made it so obvious of saying, look, if I'm gone, check out Eric. You better go look at him now that I've called him out. If I'm gone, just know it would be tough to send her out the door after that has taken place. Seems like it'd be a lot easier to go after, say, a Natalie and then have some of the suspicion fall back on Johnny and Tara because they kind of were calling out Natalie and all that. I think that's the safer way to go, and I think that is what they're going to do. But Kristen is dangerous. She truly is. Now, as far as your comment, Angie, and for Alan had said about Rob, he's played a pretty good game. I can't remember who it was talking. Oh, is Eric talking about that saying, here I am so nervous. I'm eating a croissant because I don't even want to talk. I'm so nervous about everything. And here's Rob. He's laying in his sweater, laying on the couch with his arms up over the head. Most casual guy in the world. Doesn't seem to face him at all. And I got to say, I can see why he is a charismatic individual, laid back enough that I think people tend to overlook him. Now, here's my thinking. And I asked this on my little recap from the last episode. Do Eric and Rob work together or do they work against each other? Theoretically, you have to tell the other person, hey, we can make this. We can take it to the end. And I don't know that you go out of your way to screw the other person over. But having said that, if I'm Rob And Kristen comes to me and starts saying, Eric seems a little sus here and all that. I can't believe I just said sus. A little sus. I think if I'm Rob, I'm probably going to say, I kind of caught the same thing. Because from Rob's standpoint, we've had all female traitors discovered so far, right? No males. I can't imagine that most people in the house aren't sitting there thinking there's got to be at least one guy. There's got to be a guy who is a traitor at some point. So I think it strongly benefits Rob that Eric gets identified. And if they say, he's a traitor, Eric says, you got me, I'm a traitor. Well, now suddenly they've got 3 women, they've got 1 man. And yes, they will suspect or think that there's 1 more left, right? I mean, we're to the point where they don't have to reveal whether they're a traitor or not. So I don't remember if that happens next week or it's the very last week, but it could be we're about to the point where if Eric gets called out, banished, he may not even have to reveal. But if he does, I think that helps Rob incredibly because you could have Eric expelled, and then the attention is going to turn to Johnny Weir probably as the next person. I just think Rob has positioned himself very well, so he doesn't have to do that much going forward in order to make it to the end. And so then I envision, and maybe we don't get quite there, but I envision and hope for a scenario along the lines of Kristen and I don't know, so throw in some random person, throw in Maura, the person who's least deserving to be there, according to the people who voted, not me. Don't say I disagree necessarily, but put Kristen and Maura and Rob as the final ones are standing around the cauldron, and it comes down to the big decision. Does Kristen accept these 3 as faithful and tries to get the money, or does she throw the red flames in there and tries to banish 1 more person and goes for Rob? I could see it coming down to the final thing of it's either going to be Rob or it's going to be Kristen getting the money based on what her final thinking is. And that would be great. I think that'd be fantastic. Props to Rob, props to Kristen, both for playing a pretty dang good game so far. I like the way they've played the game. It's been a good season. This could have not been as great a season because we've lost some of these bigger personalities. But I have seen some strategy play here towards the end, which is, I think it's been kind of interesting. And I spent a lot of time thinking after each episode, what would I do if I was doing it? How would I have done that? Would I have recruited? Who would I have murdered? And that always makes for a much better game when you're invested in it. Heck, that's what I used to do on Survivor and Big Brother. After every episode, I'd go take a shower before going to bed, and I'd play the whole episode out in my mind. This is what I would have done to win. This is what I would have never done. I told the producer, said, yeah, I've played every game in my head of Big Brother, and I've won every single one. A little tougher when you actually get there. But yeah, I've enjoyed Traitors. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see. What else? Downtown Comics. I love the login name. That Downtown. Excited about the upcoming Big Brother versus and Survivor season. I thought it said versus. That'd be kind of fun. About the upcoming Big Brother and Survivor seasons. Hello from Newfoundland. Been there. St. John's. Incredibly different from where I'm used to. Fishing Hamlet Village. Was there in the middle of the winter. A little cold, but yeah, it was kind of enjoyed it. Had fish and chips at a little pub there. So howdy to you up there in Newfoundland. Probably not 80 degrees up there, but yeah, I'm also looking forward to Big Brother and Survivor. We're almost there. It's going to be fun. Clinton is saying, what theme or twist for Big Brother 28? Oh, we had janky. We've had AIs and things like that. I don't know. I've said it for a while, Clinton, and I'll continue to say I'd like to see a situation where somehow you can have an extra pot, or maybe part of your winning pot can be spent to buy advantages of some sort. Not anything that dramatically affects the game. Yeah, Survivor, I'm kind of an old school. I don't want to see so many twists that it impacts the rest of the gameplay, right? And there's got to be a limit to it. But I wouldn't mind seeing a situation where, hey, it's $750,000 for Big Brother, but if you're willing to risk $75,000 of it, you can buy something that's going to give you an advantage on the next veto challenge. Not guaranteed. It's just going to give you a little bit of an advantage. Now, if it's you and you think you're the one who's getting ready to get sent home, well, you may spend that $75,000 and say, "What the heck?" Of course, there's plenty of competitions I would have spent it on if I had the chance to do so. But what if it's one of your one of your allies? What if it's Sam Smith or Cat Dunn or someone that you kind of would like to keep in the game because you think that y'all can work together, but are you willing to spend your own money for it? And I don't know, you would have to flesh it out, but I would love to see something like that where you're actually risking some of your final reward to get different advantages. And maybe it's not that. Maybe there's some other way that you can barter or get advantages. But I'd like to see some little twists like that perhaps every once in a while just to make it a little bit more fun. As far as the actual twist, I don't know, Big Brother 28. You tell me, Clint, because I hadn't really thought about it yet. We may have to have a show just where we talk about all the potential twists and themes. I don't know. I love my theme. I'm always going to be partial. I can't ever be objective. I'll always be biased, but I really did love my theme of camp, camp outdoors and things like that. It just kind of fit in with what I was used to. I would have had a harder time with some seasons where everything is very stark, very neon and bright colors and chrome and steels and white floors and everything shiny everywhere. Yeah, no, I like backgrounds like this. This is the kind of theme that I'm looking for. We'll find out before you know it. We'll find out. All right, let's see what else we got on here. Blue Sugi is saying, "My birthday is Thursday." Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Blue Sugi. Very cool. What day is that? February. I shouldn't have gone down that road because I don't even know what today is. February 16th. So 23rd, 21st is Saturday. 19th. Did I get that right? Is my math working? Is my Ross kicking in? It doesn't really matter, does it? Happy birthday to you. Enjoy every bit of it. And hey, Thursday, you can celebrate your birthday and you get to watch Traitors as well. I had fun. I did a cameo today for a person whose birthday they're turning 30, which congratulations to Lainey, is who it was. But what's cool is her husband's doing a Big Brother themed deal. So it's and Sharon's giving me a look. I hope I'm not spoiling things. I'll just leave. I'll talk about it later. But anyway, please don't say anything to it. That's not about that. Random person. F. Yeah, I should have got that wrong. Anyway, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I know the fan. All right, let's quickly moving on to something else. Cindy is saying Cliff is at the Dixie Chicken again. All right, I guess I've used this background enough to for y'all to actually recognize it. There's a reason for it. Now, I can talk just like at that junior league. I can talk about absolutely nothing for an hour. Just like Seinfeld. I can do things like that. But there's a little bit of a story for it. I was a little disappointed today. I heard that one of my favorite actors, Robert Duvall, passed away at the age of 95. So you had a good life, my friend. Rest in peace. But yeah, 95. Yeah, you got a lot squeezed in during that time. Huge fan of Robert Duvall. He was in The Godfather. One of my favorite movies was The Great Santini. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But definitely he made his name he played Boo in To Kill a Mockingbird, but he was in The Godfather. But one of my favorite roles that he did was Lonesome Dove. Do y'all remember Lonesome Dove? It was a miniseries on TV back when all the TV channels were doing miniseries all the time. He played, I think, Gus McCall. He played a Texas Ranger on the show Lonesome Dove, and just did an incredible job with it. Jane Haven is saying he lives 30 minutes from me. So sad, very down to earth. I could imagine that. And now he was born in California. I want to say San Diego or somewhere, but God, he played that Texas cowboy so dang well. I loved it, and believe it or not, Lonesome Dove actually had some weird little connections with the Lonesome Dove. The main one being that once upon Lonesome Dove in the TV series is a little church on the border with Mexico and Texas. It's just fictional. It was Lonesome Dove was written by a guy named Larry McMurtry. I'm pretty sure that's who wrote it. Anyway, so he put it down there. But in reality, the real Lonesome Dove Baptist Church was based 20 or 30 miles outside the city of Fort Worth. And I actually was told by my grandfather once upon a time that when he was 16 or 17, so this is in like 1917, 1918, he may have actually stolen a kiss or two from the daughter of the preacher of the Lonesome Dove Baptist Church out of South Lake, Texas. He was very proud of that. He said, "Yeah, that was kind of scandalous back then, but I did steal a kiss or two from the preacher's daughter." So that was my connection, one connection to the Lonesome Dove and Robert Duvall. Now another connection is that in the movie they go in, or the TV series, they go into Fort Worth and they get some downtime and they go in and they enjoy themselves. There used to be a part of Fort Worth called Hell's Half Acre, where it was just all saloons and brothels and establishments of all different sorts, gambling establishments, everything. It was the crazy place in Fort Worth, and that's where all the cowboys went. Well, I didn't realize at the time, but when I was not growing up, when I was in college, coming back in the summer and stuff, I and a lot of my buddies would go hang out in a place. It's a part of the stockyards in Fort Worth where people still wear boots and cowboy hats on. We would go hang out several times at a place called the White Elephant Saloon. Just another bar. I didn't realize the White Elephant Saloon actually was around back in the 1870s, 1880s. It's one of the oldest continual bars, and we used to hang out all the time. Same places that the Texas Rangers hung out, and all the people in the miniseries, the real characters and all, same place. So kind of makes it kind of pulls back my I don't know, the historical relevance and all of that. So I thought that was cool. Now here's a third interesting coincidental fact between myself and Lonesome Dove. I mentioned the Texas Rangers. That's who we played. Texas Rangers are kind of like a very super uber type of FBI agent for the state of Texas. These guys just badass. They would go out and do all the investigations. If a Texas Ranger was on a case, you knew it was you're in trouble if you were the guilty party. Texas Rangers have been around forever. They're still hanging around. I found out when I was a kid that my great uncle, my grandfather, Granddaddy Hogg, his brother was John Hogg, who was one of the more famous Texas Rangers in the history of the Texas Rangers. He's in the Texas Rangers Museum of History, and he was one of these high end detective kind of people. As a kid, I was very disappointed because I thought he was a Texas Ranger. I went to school. I told all my friends that I've got a great uncle who was a Texas Ranger. I was thinking baseball, the Texas Rangers. No, not that. Texas Ranger is in the FBI for the state of Texas kind of thing, which as I'm older, I now realize was 100 times more cool than playing the baseball because of some of the stuff he did. I found out. So anyway, so I had a great uncle who was actually a Texas Ranger, just like Gus McCall and all of them. He was born in 1922, so another generation or two behind the Lonesome Dove folks, but still had that. Actually, you may have gotten out of a speeding ticket or two out in West Texas when I got pulled over and they said, "Are you related to John Hogg, the Texas Ranger?" Why, yes, sir, I am. You have a good day, sir. It's like, all right, that's kind of cool. So anyway, there you go. Those are my connections to Lonesome Dove, which then connects me to Robert Duvall. So rest in peace, my friend. I loved your performances. You were incredible. Big Jake 88 is saying, Secondhand Lines is one of my favorite movies starring Robert Duvall. He has done so many movies, and you don't think about him as, of course, he's 95, so it's been a while since he did them. But yeah, that guy, everything he did with a passion. He was one of the greats. Truly one of the greats. All right, moving on. See, I told you I could talk about anything. All right, let's see. Starry Night Sky is saying Suri probably lost. It was what? Oh, probably best player ever, U.S. player ever. Yeah, I can't argue with you on that. I'll say this: Suri has done so many shows. I was glad to see her go on Big Brother and say, this is hard because everything moves so slow and you have to be so patient. And it's not the rush that you get with Survivor and some of the other games. I was glad to see that she got a taste of what I had to work through. I love Suri when she was on Survivor. I thought she played an amazing game on Traitors. I'll say this. I'm curious to see how she plays the game of Survivor on season 50. I feel like I've seen her on my TV screen so much. It's not that I'm not looking forward to seeing her. It's just there's other people who've not been on my TV screen for a long time, and I want to get reacquainted with them. I'm curious to see how Sari would have done on Big Brother if her son hadn't been in there. I don't think he helped her case much. Jared was kind of he was a loose cannon, and I'm curious to see what she would have done. It. I loved watching her and Felicia. They kind of made that season in a lot of ways, along with Jags and everyone else, but and Bowie Jane, of course. All right. Everyone's complaining about ads. All right, guys. I apologize for that. I don't know what's going on. I noticed that there was a new default setting when I set my thing up tonight, and it gave me an option for these like ads. And I could say either low or balanced or aggressive, and I said low. So I thought that meant that there wouldn't be a lot of ads. If there are, I'm sorry. I got to figure out some way to turn that off completely because y'all know me. I'm not really big in having ads. If there's one at the start that you watch for 5 seconds, right, fine, and just hit skip. I don't really mind, but I don't want y'all having to get interrupted with the ads in the middle. So I'll figure out how to fix it. We'll change it next. And sorry about that. I just keep this knowledge. Knowing me, I'll repeat all these stories again. My family certainly knows that, and I'll probably repeat them quicker than a lot of y'all even care about. But no, sorry about the ads. I thought I had it turned down to low. I know I had it turned down to low, but obviously they're still popping up. So we'll fix it. I'll figure out how to do it next time. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Brian Hustler saying, "Do you have blue eyes?" I do. Ever since I was born, I was born with blonde hair and blue eyes, very blonde, white hair, sort of. And then I don't know, Texas sun or whatever. The hair darkened up. Everyone in my family's done that. My dad had blue eyes. Two of my three brothers had blue eyes. So yeah, I got blue eyes. So I've always liked it. Yeah, that's right. And Daniel, Sharon's quickly pointing out that Daniel has blue eyes. So I guess it runs into boys in my family. So yep, I've got blue eyes. But make it tough for me to be a spy in some parts of the world and all that. But I can go get my colored contacts or something. All right, Patricia Miller, Heather and Patricia Miller are saying Rob from Traitors should go on Big Brother. Oh, that would be kind of interesting. I'm kind of down for that. I will admit this. When they said Rob, because he was Love Island, right? When they said Rob from Love Island, I was like, all right, kind of a lightweight. He's not a gamer. He's not like Natalie or Jam Jam or some of the people that I was expecting to really play this game hardcore. He's just there for the love, and he's going to be a lightweight. He'll be gone halfway through. So I underestimated him. If I was playing the game of Traitors, I would have underestimated him, and that maybe would have been my downfall. And I'm going to remember that going forward. Don't underestimate anyone. I don't care if it's Rob. I don't care if it's Maura. I don't care if it's Tara Lipinski. Do not assume that they aren't capable of playing this game because everyone plays it differently. But yeah, I would like to see Rob on Big Brother. I would have. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of interesting. Now, here's the real kicker. Would anyone recognize him? I think so. There's got to be a lot of carryover people who watch Traitors who also watch Big Brother. And so, yeah, someone would say, hey, he was on Traitors, man. He's sneaky. That would make it tough. He would have to come in and convince people why he could be trusted after spending a whole season very much showing why he should never be trusted when playing a reality TV game like this. So yeah, but I'm down for it. Big Brother has not brought in a lot of people from other shows. We talk about Survivor being a little possessive and not doing a lot of that. Well, Big Brother doesn't either. We had Sari in there. Who else have we had in there? We had Josh Weldon, who was on Amazing Race and then came in. I've met him before, really nice guy, but he came over from the Amazing Race and did the show. And I'm sure I'm missing one or two others. I really thought my season of Big Brother, I was going to have Johnny Bananas in there. And I don't know why I thought that. Just talk rumors at the time would have been cool, but didn't work out. But yeah, I'd be curious to see it. I'm ready for an entire change of put Big Brother players on Survivor, put Survivor people on, I don't know, Traitor. I don't know. I was gonna say put them on Love Island. You got to be very selective. It would be kind of interesting. Now, obviously, I'm out of the running, but take a few select people from Big Brother and Survivor, put them all on Love Island, and see how they do when they're not there to backstab. They're just there to find true love. Of course, my season, there's plenty of people. I don't know if I'd call it true love, but they certainly gave Love Island a run for their money in terms of hookups and passionate affairs and things like that. Heck, I'll put my season up against Love Island. I lived Love Island. It just had a different title, but been there, done that. Not wanting to do that one again. But yeah, I'd be happy seeing a lot of the CBS community switching out a lot of these players and seeing how they do in different kinds of environments. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, call me for Survivor, guys. Call me for Amazing Race. Leave me alone for Love Island. I like being alive, and the option is not to be if I went on that show. All right, Heather Luck is saying, did anyone go to Culver's this week? All right, guys, I did not catch the conversation talking about Culver's. But Sharon told me afterwards, she said a lot of y'all were talking about it. We do not have a Culver's here in the Houston area. I don't think we've got it up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I haven't seen a Culver's before. But do you know, after y'all had that long conversation, where I did see a Culver's was during the investigation of Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie. And I don't know, the people they arrested are in the parking lot of a Culver's. Here I am watching this thing, all the detectives, and they're holding up sheets and they're doing all the very serious investigative stuff. And all I can do is there's a Culver's. That's what they were talking about. There's one right there. Maybe not the one right at that point in time I'd want to be eating at, although you get quite the sideshow while you're there. But I don't want to make light of that situation. It's really unfortunate. But no, I couldn't believe y'all were all talking about that. And then I see it on my TV just a night or two later. So weird karma going on with you guys right now. But yeah, I will probably not be at the first Culver's meetup, but you've kind of made it a mission that I need to go eat at a Culver's at one point, just because y'all were talking about it. And I'm always down to try out new foods and new restaurants. So on the road, here we go. I'm ready for it. All right, let's see. Which is this? If y'all do a meetup, you better take some pictures and I'll post them out there. And I want to see what it's like, and I want to hear some firsthand reviews because that's a new one on me. See, 43 Huckster saying, Ma is flying to Southern California next week. Yeah, Ma must be a little busy. Maybe not so much a holiday for Ma out there. Oh, are you out here, Ma? Oh, I didn't see on the initial check. Well, I'm glad. I'm sorry I missed you. Flying to Southern California next week. That's probably a good time of the year for Southern California. I mean, they never had horrible weather, right? I mean, at least not cold temperatures. So, all right. I was surprised when I was in that Big Brother house. It got kind of cold out in the backyard at night. We'd go out there, that wind blowing in off the ocean, I guess. And it would, now we had the big walls in the backyard, so it stopped a lot of it. But having said that, there were times where I definitely wanted a jacket on when I had that was out in the backyard swinging on the hammock, things like that. So it gets a little cold. So yeah, bring your jacket, Ma. But oh, cool. Well, have fun and stay safe. Have I been back to California? I have not been back to California since I did the show itself. I'm trying to think if there's any reason, reunions or anything. No, nothing. I did my show and I came back here. I've been all over the rest of the country, but just haven't found the need to head back to California just yet. It's kind of weird. I spent a whole summer there and didn't even get to explore anything. I was confined to 100 foot by 100 foot kind of location. Well, that's all right. I knew I was getting into. All right, let's see. Brian is saying, wonder if Deal or No Deal Island is coming back. I heard, and I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm pretty sure 100% that we are not getting Deal or No Deal Island back. And I don't know if that was, again, I don't know if that was them actually saying, no, we're not doing it, or just a lot of people saying, if we were going to get it, it would have already been renewed. It hadn't, therefore it's not. But yeah, I think a Deal or No Deal Island is done, which I guess I'm okay with it. I think they did a fantastic job of making that a exciting game, considering that to some degree it comes down to chance. there's some game mechanics I had a little bit of an issue with it, but all in all, it was a lot of fun. But you have to continually come up with new ways to play that game, and maybe they just kind of ran out of it, or maybe they just got a little worried that people were going to win the big packages too easily on it. But yeah, I think Deal or No Deal Island's probably done for a little bit. But we got other shows. We got Beast Games. We've got Fear Factor. Have y'all been watching Fear Factor? I think I'm caught up with it. Kind of fun little episode. They had everyone has to be submerged underwater. They started off submerged under cold water. You had to hold your breath for 30 seconds. They don't tell you how long you have to hold your breath. You're just underwater until they raise you back up. Started after 30 seconds. Eventually, they got to, I think, 90 seconds, which is a minute and a half. Fear or not, that's a long time to hold your breath, especially if it's cold water and your adrenaline's pumping and all of that. My brother and I used to have contests to see who could hold their breath the longest. And I usually could do minute 45 or so was about it. So they were really pushing the envelope with that. That is not one of my fears. Heights are a fear. Certain bugs are fears. Gross tasting drinks, a horrific fear. Cold water, not a big fan of the cold water, but being submerged and all, I've done scuba and all that. So that wouldn't have fazed me that much. And then the final test they had to do, just two people, one versus the other, locked into straight jackets inside a little container. They had to free themselves from the straight jacket, find out which key let them out, and then hit a button. I thought the straight jackets were kind of cool. Going back to my Ross Geller days, when I used to do magic as a kid, I would go do all kinds of magic tricks. I had chains that I could break out of, do my wrist and get out of the chains. I had little finger guillotines. I had bowls of rice that would double in size. I did all kinds of magic tricks, and I loved every bit of it. But I never tried to escape from a straitjacket, and I would think the first time I try is probably going to be because someone put me in it, and hopefully that's not ever the situation. We'll see. But I've been enjoying Fear Factor. I've been enjoying Beast Games. We saw yet again people turning down $1 million to protect people they just met a few days ago. It amazes me. And then they had some people who said, well, I won't take the full million. I'm just going to take $250,000. I'm going to take $250,000. I'm going to leave $750,000 for everyone else. And you would have thought that they just absolutely murdered the other people's pets or something. I don't know. They were so upset. And if I'm that person, all I would be thinking is, you are dang lucky that I left you anything at all, that I'm only taking $250K, because I just feel like I'd be saying, you better be more grateful. I hate that word, but you better be more grateful than that. It amazes me. I'm going to reach out to Beast Games and say, put me on there. I may not last long, because the first time they offer $500,000 or something, I think, hey, I'm done. It's great meeting you, but I'm heading back to the family. Oh, and you don't have to give me a big check. You can just write it on a little one as long as I can cash it. But I'm amazed that people turn down as much money. I think it's a little bit like being in Las Vegas, where if you play card games and things like that, you end up not playing with actual money. You play with chips. And if you do it long enough, you almost start losing the significance of those chips. They're just pieces of plastic, and they don't necessarily mean as much when you do it for too long. I know one of my brothers said that once. He was sitting there talking about, they were making bets and all that. And he said, after a while, I could have bought a t-shirt, but it's like $40. I'm not paying $40 for a t-shirt. He said, and then I realized that I've been sitting there for the last 2 hours playing with like $25 chips and all of that. So, why you lose your value of money. And I feel like they did that on Beast Games. So anyway, I would have taken the money. I'll just leave it at that. They could have called me every name in the book. They could have thrown tomatoes at me, and I would have taken every bit of it. And the smile would have never lost my face, especially when I got home and said, hey, guess what, Sharon? I'm a millionaire, which means you are too. That would have been worth it. All right, let's see. Star Night Sky is saying grateful. Yeah, they've forever tainted that word. And it's like Clockwork Orange, where the protagonist, antagonist, I think he was a little bit of both. They screw up, and it was anyway. He lost his fondness for classical music because of some things that happened in that movie. Incredible movie. Check it out if you haven't already. Yeah, I forever have a bad taste in my mouth for anything having to do with Grateful because of my season of Big Brother 21. Those snakes. No, it's not just they named themselves the Grateful Eight Alliance, but they thought it was so cute for us to go around the table one night on a Taco Tuesday and talk about what we were grateful for. And I don't remember what I said. Something about, oh, I'm grateful that I've met all these people I would have never met before and all that. Meanwhile, they're all, he said grateful. He doesn't even know. Yeah, okay. You pulled one over on me. But yeah, I'll never be able to hear that word again without thinking about that 1 year back in that Big Brother house. So it is what it is. I'm permanently emotionally wounded by it, I suppose. All right. Karen is saying an idea. All right. Have them start in the Big Brother house, have then move through to an island and finish playing Survivor. Don't let them know about the trick. That would be cool. And now they almost did that with that Firewire Island or whatever, right? When they had to spend a week in the backyard. I've always thought it would be kind of cool to have a competition, the master of reality TV, where you play a little bit of Big Brother, you play a little bit of Survivor, you also play a little bit of Top Chef. It may turn into Worst Cooks in America, but a little bit of Chopped or Top Chef or something. Take all the different types of reality TV shows and combine them all together. Every week you have to do a different type of reality show and see how you make it to the very end. You know, one week you get sent out to a forest and you're just stuck there. Yeah, if you don't go catch your own insects or something, then you're not going to make it. I think it'd be fun. Just the master of all or something. Yeah, I love that idea. And let them think that they're in the Big Brother house, and then suddenly they get sent to a little less accommodating accommodations. Kind of like Extracted. It's the other reality show we haven't talked about. Sis's sister was out in the woods. Sis and her mom were back in the comforts of the command center. Her sister didn't last that long. But yeah, kind of same situation. Sis was on Big Brother indoors and all that. Her sister not having quite the same kind of conditions. And she didn't do well. She didn't thrive. She had some issues. I would love to. That would be so much fun to be on that show. I think I would be okay if I was out in the woods, not because I'm such a great outdoorsman. I mean, I feel like I could catch fish and I'll eat algae if I have to or whatever. And you know, bears will scare me, but not to the point of, well, maybe we'll see. But I feel like I would do okay. But the main reason why I think I'd do great is because I'm just too dang stubborn. As Sharon will say, I'm too dang stubborn for my own good. But what would really be fun is if I was in command center and watching my son do it, because he is the outdoorsman. He thrives in the outdoors. If there's ever some kind of horrific end of the world scenario, he's the one that's going to make it through to the very end. Speaking of, we watched Greenland too. Have y'all ever seen Greenland? Which with I can't even think who plays him. Gerard, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, Greenland was pretty good end of the world scenario kind of thing. They came out with a second one, Greenland 2. Not quite as to the level of the first one. It was okay, but not quite the level. But Sharon and I watched that over the weekend. We also watched The Lincoln Lawyer, the Netflix series, not the movie. There's a movie with Matthew McConaughey. This was a TV series. We watched it over the weekend based on a series of books. Really good. Crime drama, attorney, lots of courtroom scenes and things like that. If you're looking for something to binge, that's a pretty good one. So yeah, the Lincoln Lawyer, just in case you're looking for something else. All right, let's see what else. Can't read that. Heather saying, I've bungee jumped. That'd be kind of scary. I've bungee jumped, rappelled down a building, gone zip lining, parasailing, have not skydived yet. All right. So you and I are kind of along the same lines here. And then Karen's saying zip lined over alligators to get over a fear of heights. All right, that's pretty cool. I'll give you a lot of credit for that. I am in the same general thing. I've not bungee jumped. I've rappelled. I've rappelled off of buildings, also rappelled into caves, which was kind of cool. I have not done parasailing or motor sailing or any of that, which would be fun. I've not skydived. Sharon forbids it. I guess she values my life or doesn't trust the people packing the chutes as much as I do. But I'm banned from parachuting or skydiving for now. We'll see. 100th birthday, maybe I'm going to do it. And if y'all haven't done it, I know I've mentioned it before. Anyone who has not seen the movie Fandango, please go find it. It stars Kevin Costner. It was I think it was his very first movie he ever did. It was started off as a school project at the University of Texas and then expanded out. It's amazing. A bunch of guys graduating from college in the 70s, some of them getting ready to be drafted into the Vietnam War. They want one big last road trip. They're going through Texas, just doing dumb stuff like college guys sometimes do. There is the most incredible skydiving scene of that movie. If people ask me, I'll say Braveheart's one of my favorite movies, and Gladiator, and a few here and there. But Fandango has a special spot in my heart. If you haven't watched it, find Fandango. Every time, it's not on that often, but when I do find it, Sharon watches me just laughing and loving that movie every single time. That is Cliff's pick of the week, of the year, of the month, whatever. Check out Fandango. And it doesn't hurt. And it's not just, it's got Kevin Costner. It's got Kevin Judd. I can't remember. You'll recognize a lot of names on there. It's an incredible movie. All right, let's see. Angie is saying, I think Cliff would be an amazing faithful by secretly working with the Traitors the entire time. That would be my strategy. I wouldn't be in a hurry to get out of the Traitors because they're just going to recruit someone else. What does that do for you? Get in tight, find someone that you think is a traitor, and you can't come out and say, I think you're a traitor, because then that creates too many issues. Just say, if someone I'm working with is a traitor, so much the better. I'll protect them, and hopefully they protect me every night at murders, and I'll protect them at the banishment table. And just kind of have that conversation at some point and let that traitor know that I got your back if you got mine. And then at some point, as you get to the end, someone's got to pull the trigger on someone else at some point, right? But first 2/3 of the season, don't worry about that. Now, we saw some of that gameplay this year. I think Tiffany tried to do that, and it didn't work out so well for her. But I think there's something to be said for that strategy. Yeah, Angie, I'd love it. There's a part of me that would have a lot of fun being a traitor just because I'd get to be the villain, and I didn't get to really do that on Big Brother. That would be fun to do. But I kind of respect Ian Terry, who had said, I don't want to be a traitor. That's easy. I want to be a faithful and show I can win as a faithful. I kind of get his point, and that would be fun as well. So we'll see. I would very much be willing to be a traitor if I went on that show and they picked me. But if I was a faithful, I'd have a lot of fun. I'd have a lot of fun just pointing fingers and causing chaos and just getting to do something a little bit different. When I was on Big Brother, first time on TV and money and wanting to represent myself, well, I played it very seriously. I have a feeling if I went on Traitors as a second time, I'd still play it seriously, but I'd be a little bit more carefree about it as well. I wouldn't worry as much about the outcomes and everything. So yeah, I'd have fun with it. All right, 7:57. Angie's saying, hiding the box was a waste of time. I thought they spent way too much time. This is from Traitors. Way too much time on that particular challenge. I will say, I think the Traitors did a good job. For those of you who haven't seen it, they ended up picking Tara for every single question that was asked. So as a result, it did two things. One, it kept people from using their answers to try to figure out who maybe was a traitor. They still tried a little bit, but it really short-circuited that whole approach once they realized that they're naming the same person every time. So it doesn't really matter what the question itself is asking. So I thought that part was smart. The other thing was that by the end, everyone knew that final question or two was going to be Tara. So they were able to answer with her name and win a little extra money as a result of it. So I thought it was a brilliant move on their part to do that. I just don't know how they got in and out of those boxes without someone hearing. My hearing isn't the best. I spent way too much time on oil rigs and things like that. But even so, I think I could put my ear up against that box and hear those old creaks and squeaks and everything else of feet and all that. I don't know how they didn't figure out people coming out of some of the boxes, but obviously they didn't. That maybe they're playing music inside the boxes or something. It could be. All right, Angie's saying, if I was on Traitors, Cliff would be the last person I would trust. Well, that's very good. What did Alan Cummings say that that lack of I'm misphrasing it. It came from Tennessee Williams that lack of trust is the best defense against betrayal or something. Yeah, trust no one in there. Yeah, and Angie, yeah, don't trust me because first of all, if I'm a traitor, I'm going to lie to every single person in there. Of course, I'm going to lie. And I don't know. I would probably smile too much. I have a feeling that I've got tells that I don't even know about, and people would say, he's lying. Look, he's doing whatever," and they'd figure out real quick. I'm not sure I'd be the best traitor, but yeah, don't trust me because Angie, I know you well enough. I would feel bad if I was a traitor and you were in there, and the best way to take care of feeling bad would be to get you out as soon as possible. Nah, I wouldn't do that. We'd stick around. We'd have fun, but yeah, no one should trust me in any game you play. Because just because I played a somewhat honest game in Big Brother, it's not because that's the way I think a game should be played. It just worked to my advantage in that particular season of Big Brother. Put me in again, and I may just stab every person in the back I see. It's a game. It's like playing poker. You bluff, whatever. It worked for me that time. Play Traitors would be a whole different game. Yeah, don't trust me. Not inside a game format. Outside, trust me completely. Inside a game, yeah, you better not. All right, let's see. What else? Angie's saying, back to Angie would be Monica. So you can be anxious sometimes. That makes sense. I can see that would be one of her identifying characteristics. Heather Luck is saying, I'd be a female Chandler. Chandler Bing. There's a baseball player by the name of Chandler Bing who plays for A&M. Kind of funny. But anyway, I enjoyed all of those. Chandler, Phoebe. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of those. We had somewhere hidden in this house. I received the entire series of Friends on DVD from Amazon. And I reached out and said, guys, I love Friends, but I did not order all of these episodes. I don't know why they got sent to my house, but I didn't order them. And they checked, said, yeah, it was a mistake on our part. Keep them. You don't even need to send them back. So somewhere I've got the DVDs for all of Friends. I hope they're DVDs, not VCR tapes. Surely they're DVDs. I may have to check that out. All right, so Angie is Monica, and then we've got a female Chandler, Chandler Bing as well. We just about have the group put together. I'm ready. All right, guys, I think we'll shut it down here. It's 8:01, so I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of the week. We didn't talk about Valentine's Day. A lot of folks eating rest. Sharon and I had fun. It was pouring down rain, lots of crowds, so we ate in and enjoyed every bit of it. But hope y'all have a fantastic week. We'll be talking about the Traitors again next Thursday, and I think we only have one episode after that, so it's getting near the end. But y'all stay safe. Have fun this week, and send me DMs. Let me know what you want to talk about going forward. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to our channel, hitting the old notifications, doing a thumbs up is always appreciated. But guys, have a great week, and I will see y'all next Monday. And between now and then, I'll be dropping another recap of the Traitors as well. So watch out for that. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe from mud. Bye.